You have someone thinking about you right now, someone who has never said a word about it. And by the end of this video, you will know exactly who she is and why she has been hiding it. Here is the part that will surprise you. She is not playing hard to get. She is not waiting for the right moment. She is terrified. Terrified that if she shows you how she feels, you will not feel the same. Terrified that the connection she feels is one-sided. Terrified that revealing herself will change everything between you. This was never something you could have figured out on your own. Because the signs a woman gives when she is genuinely falling for someone are almost invisible to the untrained eye. They look like ordinary behavior. They feel like nothing special. But underneath, they carry a weight that changes everything once you learn to recognize it. Stay until I share the fourth sign, because that one reveals something most men go their entire lives without understanding. Something about how a woman acts when she is fighting her own feelings for you. That single insight has helped men finally see what was right in front of them for years. If this is your first time here, this channel exists for men who want real understanding of female psychology. Not games, not tricks. The actual emotional landscape women navigate when they are drawn to someone. If that resonates, subscribe, because what you learn here will change how you see every interaction moving forward. Let me start by explaining why the woman who loves you has been invisible to you. Research from Dr. Monica Moore at Webster University documented over 50 distinct behaviors women display when they are attracted to someone. But here is what her research also revealed. 87% of men fail to recognize these signals when they are happening. Not because men are unintelligent, but because women are communicating in a language men were never taught to understand. And it becomes even more complicated when the woman has deep feelings. Because the deeper her feelings, the more carefully she hides them. This is not manipulation. This is self-protection. Psychologists call it vulnerability avoidance. The more she has to lose, the more she conceals. So the woman who is casually interested in you will be obvious. She will flirt openly. She will make her attraction clear. But the woman who is actually falling for you, the woman who lies awake at night thinking about your conversations, she will seem almost neutral, almost friendly, almost like she sees you as nothing more than a friend. This is where most men get it completely wrong. They chase the obvious signals and miss the hidden ones. They pursue the women who flirt openly and overlook the women who care deeply. None of this works without genuine care for the person in front of you. What I am sharing is not about taking advantage of someone's feelings. It is about finally seeing what has been invisible, about honoring the courage it takes for anyone to feel deeply for another person. The first sign is something I call the repeated return. Pay attention to who keeps coming back into your life. Not in dramatic ways, in small, almost unnoticeable ways. She comments on your posts. She shows up at gatherings where you will be. She finds reasons to text you about things that do not really require texting. She asks mutual friends about you, thinking they will not mention it. Most men dismiss this as coincidence, as friendliness, as nothing special. But it is not coincidence. It is intention disguised as accident. A woman in her early 50s shared something with me at a community event last month that captures this perfectly. She said, "There was a man in my social circle for 3 years. I was in love with him the entire time, but I could not tell him. So I just kept showing up. I found every excuse to be where he was. I thought I was being subtle." She laughed. I was not subtle at all. But he never saw it. He thought I was just friendly. She paused and her expression shifted. Eventually, I stopped showing up. I could not take the invisibility anymore. And he never reached out to ask why. That is when I knew he had never seen me at all. That story carries something important. The woman who keeps returning is telling you something with her presence. She is saying, "I want to be near you. I choose to be near you." Again and again. The question is whether you have the awareness to see it. Imagine this. There is a woman in your life right now, maybe at work, maybe in your neighborhood, maybe in a group you belong to. She always seems to be around. She always has a reason to talk to you. She remembers details from conversations you forgot you had. She laughs at things you say that are not particularly funny. Most men would not think twice about this. They would assume she is just being nice, just being polite, just being friendly. But ask yourself this: does she do this with everyone, or does she do this with you? That distinction changes everything. The second sign goes deeper. I call it the guarded gaze. When a woman is falling for you, her eyes betray her even when her words do not. But it is not the look itself that reveals her. It is what she does immediately after. Research from the University of Chicago found that eye contact lasting longer than 3 seconds triggers either attraction or threat response. But here is what the research also found. When a woman is concealing strong feelings, she will hold your gaze for that extended moment and then look away abruptly, almost as if she caught herself, almost as if she revealed too much and needed to retreat. Most men miss this entirely. They register the eye contact but not the withdrawal. They feel something in that moment but cannot identify what it was. This is about understanding and respect, not control or manipulation. Recognizing these signals is not about gaining power over anyone. It is about finally seeing the humanity in front of you, the vulnerability, the silent hoping. Imagine this. You are talking with her in a group setting. Others are around. The conversation is general, nothing personal. But you notice that when you speak, her eyes find yours. They stay a moment too long. And then she looks down or turns to someone else. Not smoothly, slightly abruptly, as if she caught herself staring. That abruptness is the sign, that moment of self-correction, that flash of awareness that she was revealing too much. Most men would not notice this. They are focused on the conversation, the content, the surface. But you are not most men. You are learning to see what others miss. The third sign is called the protective distance. This one confuses men more than any other, because it seems like the opposite of attraction. It seems like disinterest, but it is actually the clearest sign of deep feeling. When a woman has casual interest in you, she moves closer. She finds excuses for proximity. She touches your arm when she laughs. She leans in when you speak. The signals are obvious because she has nothing to lose. But when a woman has deep feelings, she often does the opposite. She keeps distance. She avoids being alone with you. She maintains a gap that seems designed to keep things safe. Why would she do this? Because proximity overwhelms her. Because being close to you makes it harder to hide what she feels. Because the physical nearness triggers emotions she is not ready to reveal. Dr. Helen Fisher's research on the neuroscience of love explains this. When someone is deeply attracted, the brain releases a flood of dopamine and norepinephrine. These chemicals create physical sensations that can be overwhelming. Increased heart rate, flushed skin, nervous energy. For a woman trying to conceal her feelings, being too close makes these responses impossible to hide. So she creates distance. Not because she does not want to be near you, but because being near you makes her feel too much. If your intention is not honest, none of this will work. Women sense everything. If you approach this as a way to exploit someone's feelings, she will feel that. What I am teaching is recognition, not manipulation. Seeing, not scheming. Imagine this. There is a woman who seems slightly awkward around you. When others leave and it is just the two of you, she finds a reason to leave too. When you sit near her, she shifts slightly away. When conversations get personal, she changes the subject. Most men would interpret this as rejection, as discomfort with you specifically, as a clear sign she is not interested. But ask yourself this: is she like this with everyone, or only with you? Because if she is relaxed and open with others, but guarded and distant with you, that guardedness is not rejection. It is protection. Protection of feelings she does not know what to do with. What I am about to share next is the sign that reveals everything, the one most men go their entire lives without understanding. The fourth sign is called the invisible support. This is how a woman loves when she believes her love will not be returned. She supports you in ways you never see. She speaks well of you when you are not there. She defends you in conversations you will never hear about. She notices when you are struggling and finds indirect ways to help. She celebrates your wins privately, never telling you she cared. This is the love that asks for nothing, that expects nothing, that simply gives because she cannot help herself. Research on attachment styles from Dr. Cindy Hazan at Cornell University shows that deeply attached individuals often express love through acts of service and support rather than verbal declaration. They love through action. They love through presence. They love through 1,000 small choices that go unnoticed. A woman once told me something that has stayed with me for years. She said, "I was in love with my best friend for almost a decade. He never knew, but I was always there. When he went through his divorce, I was there. When he lost his job, I was there. When he dated other women, I smiled and asked how it was going." She paused, and her eyes glistened. "I loved him by being a constant in his life, by never leaving, by supporting every version of him. I thought eventually he would see, but he never looked for me that way. He just assumed I would always be there." That story holds a weight that most people never consider. There are people in our lives who love us invisibly, who show up without recognition, who give without receiving. The question is not whether you have someone like this. The question is whether you have noticed. Imagine this. Think about the woman who has been most consistent in your life. Not the one who pursues you, obviously, the one who simply stays. The one who remembers your birthday without Facebook reminding her. The one who asks how that thing you mentioned went. The one who seems genuinely happy when things go well for you and genuinely concerned when they do not. That consistency is not friendship, or rather, it is friendship that wants to be more but is afraid to ask. The fifth sign reveals the final piece. I call it the unfinished sentence. When a woman is hiding her feelings for you, her communication will carry a specific quality. There will be moments where she starts to say something and stops herself. Moments where she almost reveals something but pulls back. Moments where the conversation feels like it is building towards something that never arrives. Pay attention to these moments. They are not awkwardness, they are restraint. She wants to tell you. Part of her is desperate to tell you. But fear holds the words in her throat. Fear of rejection. Fear of changing the relationship. Fear of being too much, too soon, too obvious. You will notice this in text messages too. She types and deletes. She sends messages that seem like they should continue but end abruptly. She says things like, "I was thinking about you," and then adds something meaningless to soften it, like, "because of that show you recommended." Every unfinished sentence is a declaration swallowed. Every sudden topic change is a confession avoided. Think about someone in your life who does this, someone whose communication has gaps, moments that feel incomplete, things that seem like they should have continued but did not. Those gaps are not empty. They are full of everything she cannot bring herself to say. This is about understanding the courage it takes to feel deeply for someone. The vulnerability of caring when you do not know if the care will be returned. The daily choice to stay close to someone you love while hiding that love behind friendship. Most men never recognize this. They spend their lives looking for obvious signals and missing the subtle ones. They chase the women who flirt and overlook the women who love. But you are different. You are here because you want to understand, because you sense there is more beneath the surface than most people see. Let me ask you something important. As you listen to these 5 signs, did someone come to mind? Did a face appear? Did you suddenly see certain behaviors differently? That recognition is not coincidence. That is your intuition connecting what you always felt to what you now understand. The question is, what you will do with this understanding. Because here is the truth. The woman who loves you invisibly will not wait forever. She will eventually protect her heart by moving on. She will tell herself the story that you never saw her that way, that it was never meant to be, that she should find someone who recognizes her. And if you wait too long, she will be gone. Not physically, perhaps, but emotionally. The window will close. Most men miss these windows entirely. They do not even know they existed until years later, when someone mentions that she had feelings for you back then, and the realization hits like a wave. But you do not have to be most men. Think about who came to mind while you watched this. Think about the woman who keeps returning, who guards her gaze around you, who keeps protective distance, who supports you invisibly, whose sentences never quite finish. If she exists in your life, you have a choice to make. You can continue as you have been, letting the window slowly close, or you can do something brave. You can pay closer attention. You can create space for her to reveal herself. You can take the risk of seeing her differently. That choice is yours. Here is what I want you to do. If this opened your eyes to something you had not seen before, type the word "seen" in the comments below. Just that word. It lets me know this reached you, and it marks this moment of recognition. Because in the next video, I am going to share something even more important. The exact conversation that invites a woman to finally reveal what she has been hiding. The words that create safety for her to be honest. The approach that transforms years of invisible love into something real. That video will change how you communicate forever. Subscribe so you do not miss it.